When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
At Phoenix Conversions, for 25 years, we've been the place to take your car, truck, or SUV for custom accessories and conversions. Whether it's that time of season, you want to personalize your ride for performance, or just stand out from the crowd, Phoenix Conversions carries the area's largest selection of custom accessories, built tough and fitting your everyday life. When it has to be the best, call Phoenix Conversions.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Every red dot on this map marks a car wreck case worked by the car wreck attorneys, Bill Hotson Associates, like this one on the Andrew Johnson Highway.
Ann got hurt in a wreck between two trucks. The insurance companies blamed each other and just wouldn't be fair. So we took it to court and got Ann a settlement of $180,000. We've been fighting these battles for 30 years and we're ready to fight for you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hotson Associates.
For nearly 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, the full line of Yamaha outboard motors, and the area's biggest selection of boats. Aqua Patio Pontoons offer unmatched performance, relaxing comfort, and dozens of options. Live life on the water with Aqua Patio Pontoons. Check out Aqua Patio Pontoons for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
You are watching the Sports Source Kickoff with John Pennington, presented by Madisonville Marine.
Good Thursday evening and welcome into our up-tempo, fast-paced preview of Tennessee, Alabama, the number one team in the country. Comes to town to face the number 9 Volunteers. Should be a big one on Saturday. We're going to get you ready for it today on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by our friends at Madisonville Marine. And let me tell you about Madisonville Marine. I'm still going to tell you about them even though you don't see it there. Madisonville Marine brings you this first segment. They have a tremendous amount of deals going on right now through tomorrow, through Friday. They have rebates of up to $1,500 up to $1,500 back, I should say, on Skeeter bass boats, on different models of Skeeter bass boats. So get down to Madisonville Marine. We appreciate them for bringing you this show each and every week, and we especially appreciate it when we can actually put their name on screen. There you go, Madisonville Marine. I want to welcome these guys. I always enjoy putting these guys on screen. Jimmy Himes from WNML, the Sports Radio WNML. Let me reverse that. 20 years from now, I'll stop saying sports animal and you'll go back to it. Right there, we have SECCountry.com's Mike Griffith, and we have right down there VFL and former NFL defensive end Will Overstreet. All right, I'm going to start with Will, as we always do. We talked about some of these same things last week, but we can take them from a new direction this week in terms of the stakes. What's at stake this week? College football playoff, the way Tennessee lost to Texas A&M. Okay, you're still very much in the mix. If you can beat Alabama, I mean, that was what you'd call a good loss in terms of the committee's eyes. So this game, college football playoff talk, is still, even though that's still a long shot, that's still in the conversation if you can win this game. The other thing is, could give you some breathing room in the East over Florida, and we all know the situation with Florida right now, waiting for Greg Sankey to make his decisions. But when you look at the East, some breathing room, playoff's still a possibility. Your thoughts on what's at stake here?
It's definitely at stake. And I mean, I think that's what everybody wants, every player wants, every fan wants. Is it within your control? Is it still within your destiny? If you take care of business, you don't need any other breaks. You go out there, you win the games you're supposed to win. You beat an Alabama, you win the SEC championship, you're in the playoffs. That's all you can ask for. That's all you've been working for all year, not having to worry about this guy having to lose and this having to happen. If you keep winning, if you beat Alabama, everything you've wanted to set out for, your dream season, is possible, and it's in your control.
And on paper, your season gets easier for the next 4 or 5 weeks before you hit championship game and all that stuff if you
Right.
beat Alabama. We always do this, and we'll start with Jimmy. It's 3 up, 3 down. I want to hear 3 Vols that are playing well, 3 Vols that maybe need to improve their play. Jimmy Himes, 3 up. Who you got up?
John Kelly, running back. I was very impressed with what he did against Texas A&M. We'd heard from Butch Jones, we'd heard from the running backs coach Robert Gillespie about how good Kelly had looked. We hadn't seen it. We saw it against Texas A&M. I thought he hit the holes well. I thought he ran angry. I thought he ran possessed, and I was really impressed with what he was able to do. I thought he did a good job of finding the holes as well. I think he's going to be a really good back for Tennessee.
Mike Griffith, who you got on the upside?
I agree with Jimmy, though. He ran through the smoke. Alvin Kamara, how could you not appreciate what Alvin did? He's the first running back from a Power 5 conference in the last 20 years to gain 125 yards rushing and 150 yards receiving in the same game. 288 between the rushing and receiving, 312 all-purpose. I thought Alvin was a game changer for the offense, and certainly now he may be a game changer for the whole philosophy for Tennessee moving forward. John, we'll have to see.
We'll talk about that a little later in the show. Will Overstreet, who you got on the up list?
The easy one you can always choose is Derek Barnett. I mean, my favorite guy, defensive end. In one play, he's doing the Reggie White, getting back to the quarterback several times in that game, really caused a lot of disruption. And then you have another play, he's looking like Deion Sanders. He's running with the wide receiver and breaks up a pass. I mean, how many times in a game like that can you say a big man run? And big man running on tape like that just earned himself some more money.
Makes NFL money. You got to throw Josh Dobbs in here, too. That one almost, it's to the point where that one's almost just
career
a
high
given.
398. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a given, though. I mean, how do you keep praising the guy? Because he is your offense. I mean, we can talk about Kamara had a great game, a UT single game record for all-purpose yards. John Kelly performed well. If Jalen Hurd comes back, their games he has well defensively. But Dobbs is, wins and losses for this team are tied to Josh Dobbs. More so than with a lot of schools and a lot of quarterbacks. The fact that he is so important in the run game, the decision-making, the passing game, which he's improved on. You take the drops out, he's right at 65% where the coaches wanted him, where I didn't think he could get. Josh Dobbs is on the up list. Down list, who you got, Jimmy Himes?
I'm going to do this with an asterisk, Mike Abernathy. I think he's been a little bit banged up, but he has missed some tackles. He's not played that well. Against Georgia on a long pass, he did not get over with the safety help. Against A&M, I thought he missed some tackles. I don't know the significance of his injury, but I don't think he's playing as well as he did early in the year when he was full go. So he certainly needs to play better against Alabama.
Mike Griffith is down.
Josh Malone, and Josh had such a great start. I think our expectations for him may have changed. Even so, he had a couple of costly drops. They would have been tough catches, but they're the kind of catches an all-SEC receiver makes. And then I thought just an unforgivably poor route in the first overtime, 3rd and 5, he runs a 4-yard out. Look, you got to be able to know where the sticks are at this point in your career. Consequently, Tennessee kicks a field goal, and there's a second overtime. If Malone runs the right route, they've got a first down, and who knows what happens.
Ifs and nuts.
I know where you're going on this one, and it's something we pointed out Sunday on our morning show as well. Your thoughts on your down?
Yeah, tight ends. So I know I'm grouping 2 together, but really and truly, you can't separate them right now. I mean, usually a team has a tight end that is either a blocker or a pass receiver. Right now, we're not either. We're not very good at blocking. And that's not one of our strengths at tight end. And we have more drops than just about any other position. And so when the opportunity comes, these guys have got to start executing. I don't know what it is, but right now, tight end is a barren wasteland of don't go there.
It's worrisome at the moment. All right. We always talk about the edge, and I want to throw this one at Will specifically because it kind of talks to something you've talked about all year long, and that is offensively, I don't think there's any question the Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin pairing stronger than Butch Jones, Mike DeBoard right now. And I don't think it's just the players they've got, although that certainly gives you an advantage. But I think part of it is the way they use their talent. I will also throw this in that you don't have to comment on, but I think Saban allows Kiffin to run a little bit more free with the offense than maybe Mike DeBoard gets that chance with Butch Jones' offense. With the exception of the pulling plays, you haven't seen a lot of change from Bajakian to DeBoard. Your thoughts on why Saban and Kiffin, what sets them apart from DeBoard and Jones?
Sure, and who knows on the coaching internal workings of who's making the final calls, but Kiffin's done this pretty much at every place. Now, we all know what he is as a human being, guys. I mean, I'm not going timing in here. So if I compliment him right now, it's on football stuff. But let's face it, last week, if you're watching that game, what do you see? Kiffin raises his hands just like that, touchdown. He knew he had to play. You know why? In tape, he'd scheduled, he knew their defense was going to come out with this certain coverage at one point in the game, and he had his wide receiver on a bad matchup. Touchdown. He did that here at UT. He does that in games, and he even does it when he doesn't need to. Amari Cooper, a couple years ago, best wide receiver in the country by far, could get open on anybody. Yet he's motioning him behind the line of scrimmage so that he can get him on a weaker person and have more head of steam so he can have an even better game. What Lane Kiffin does really, really well is says, my guy's really, really good. I want to put him on your weak guy most of the time. So he really tries not to say, what is my offense, but what are the pieces I have and what are the pieces you're not very good at, and I'm going to find out how to put my good pieces on your bad pieces and make that work. And if you can't stop it, we're going to keep doing it.
Can I add one thing to that?
Very quickly.
I think he does a great job of developing the confidence and instilling it in his quarterbacks and finding their strengths and avoiding their weaknesses. I thought he did it with Crompton, Blake Sims, Jake Coker, Jalen Hurts. I think he's really good at that.
He does find a way to out X and O you. I will say this for the DeBoer Jones group. We said 2 weeks after they finished the Florida game, they said, well, we sacrificed tempo for formations. I said, here, do it more often. They did it against Texas A&M as well, and they formationed them into problem. You're wanting to see more of that. Will they do it with Jalen Hurd back, or is that a product of just having Alvin Kamara? That's our next segment. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine.
For nearly 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, the full line of Yamaha outboard motors, and the area's biggest selection of boats. Boats like G3 Suncatcher pontoons, coming in a variety of sizes. G3 Suncatchers combine stylish lounge areas with cutting-edge technology. Check out G3 Suncatchers for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Games and Things wants to put more fun in your life with a new pool table. Games and Things features a huge selection, including Brunswick and Olhausen, two of the most respected brands in the industry. Traditional, contemporary, rustic, or formal, Games and Things has many styles to choose from. You can even customize the pool table to fit your own personal taste. See the selection online at OurGameRoom.com or visit our award-winning showroom at Kingston Pike and Lovell Road.
Games and Things, 'cause life should be fun, fun, fun.
At Phoenix Conversions, for 25 years, we've been the place to take your car, truck, or SUV for custom accessories and conversions. Whether it's that time of season, you want to personalize your ride for performance, or just stand out from the crowd, Phoenix Conversions carries the area's largest selection of custom accessories, built tough and fitting your everyday life. When it has to be the best, call Phoenix Conversions.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Every red dot on this map marks a car wreck case worked by the car wreck attorneys, Bill Hotz and Associates, like this one on I-40 near Asheville Highway.
Ed got rear-ended by a truck and hurt his back. He couldn't have an MRI because of an old war injury, so the insurance company refused to pay. We filed a lawsuit and they paid. Ed fought for all of us, and we fought for Ed.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hotz and Associates.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. You see their website right there, and I want to tell you, coming up next Friday, the 21st, through Monday, the 24th, they will be having their 36th anniversary sale. 36 years for Games and Things. Big sale starting next Friday through the following Monday at Games and Things. All right, the buzzers are out. The clock is set to 60 seconds. 3 questions. Jump in if you want to sound off. First question, if you had to bet, how would you guess UT will use Hurd and Kamara on Saturday? Who wants it? Who wants it? Nobody wants it?
They're going to start both of them. Butch is going to avoid this who starts this thing, so I think they'll come out with both of them in the backfield.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Right. Good all day.
But ultimately, I don't think we're going to see Alvin run the ball much. I think you're going to see them go back to giving the ball to Jalen Hurd on first down, and I think they're going to try and spread Kamara out. This is what Butch said. They're going to try and spread him out, find ways. I don't think they're ready to take the ball out of Jalen Hurd's hands yet.
If you're going to do that, then let Dobbs run in the first quarter, because right now I can guarantee most defenses go first down. I don't care what formation you're in. If Dobbs and Hurd are back there. Hurd's getting the ball. We're not even keying on Dobbs in the first quarter.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to disagree a little bit with Mike on this. Kamara's going to get more carries than Hurd, and here's one reason why.
Have to.
Hurd's had 101 carries this year, and 43 have gone for 2 or fewer yards. 25 of those are on first downs. I think you got to get the ball more to Kamara, and I think he proved against A&M.
And I'll give credit to Mike here because it was several weeks ago you said maybe you just need to start taking carries from Hurd and giving them to Kamara. After last week, kudos on that one. All right, question number 2. The Vols not, this will be quick, the Vols not falling from the AP top 10 despite losing shows blank.
Respect. Respect for what the team is, the talent the team has. Even with the injuries, everybody sees this team as a dangerous team that on any given night, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, can beat anybody else.
Okay, respect. To show anything else?
No, I had respect, but I'm going to change to belief. Is that okay? Same thing. Look, what you were able to do on the road, I kept thinking if you fall behind by 17 or 21 to Georgia, you're not going to win.
Right.
Same thing with A&M. They kept doing it. They did it with bodies falling on almost every other play, it seemed like. And I think that the people have picked up this as a very resilient, very good football team.
I think it's also somewhat by default. Have you looked at some of the teams around them with Wisconsin and Nebraska? I mean, we really believe that Nebraska is a top 10 team. So some of it is I don't think we're as deep this season in top 15, top 12 teams. And Tennessee did prove a lot, John, with a loss to Texas A&M.
Just couldn't give them credit. All right, here we go. Let's do the next one. Injuries finally took a toll last week along with penalties and turnovers. Could turmoil be a toll taker this week because you've got Danny O'Brien booted, team leader, popular guy, important player, and you've got Preston Williams now barking for a transfer? You've already gone before the question was finished.
I did. I'm on it. No, the answer is when you got issues in the locker room, you want those guys gone. If he was unhappy, and he was at Preston Williams we're talking about, if the guy's unhappy because he's not playing or he's not getting enough targets, chance is he's infecting those other people around him. If you don't like it, go. Here's your situation. As far as Danny goes, obviously a well-respected guy. He'd come a long way, a fifth-year senior, made a mistake. Well, there's rules in place, and kudos to Butch Jones. These rules have to be consistent for everyone, not just the stars.
Yeah, you got to hit your buzzer. You definitely have to have rules, and you got to set a standard because you can't lose a team by just doing one thing for one player. And I definitely agree. If a guy is starting to complain in the locker room and start chatting and running his mouth too much, he's not bigger than the team. You got to go.
Yeah, and nay. Turmoil going to take a toll.
No, I'd say no. And in one case, addition by subtraction.
Okay, very good. By the way, that was buzzer malfunction. You hit it, it just didn't fire. All right. Very quickly, we do this every week. It's emptying the notebooks, where we give Mike Griffith 30 seconds to tell us about the opposing team. Alabama in 30 seconds, Mike. Good luck.
Yeah, only the best Alabama team that Nick Saban's had, according to Butch. At least the best one that he's seen is what Butch Jones told us. Look, this is a team that really takes advantage of other people's mistakes. We're talking about 9 non-offensive touchdowns. That's defensive or special teams in the last 8 games. What more do you need to say? Here's something else we can say. Opposing quarterbacks, 52 carries, 52 yards. So it'll be interesting to see if Josh Dobbs can improve on last year's total. I think John was saying earlier, 16 carries for 19 yards in the game last year.
That was before the show, but now you've stolen it. So
something to that effect. So we'll see if he can improve upon that. And Calvin Ridley, he's really slouching this year, only 12.1 yards per carry. Look for him to break out. They're going to go deep to him.
Good deal. Let me put up a graphic here as we go to Jimmy to talk about these guys. Jalen Hurd, Butch Jones says he will play if you believe that. Game time decision for Darren Kirkland. Cortez McDowell questionable. Danny O'Brien dismissed. Reeves Maven likely out for the year. Last week he's out for the year. Now he's likely out for the year. Robertson questionable. Dylan Wiseman doubtful. Preston Williams seeking a transfer. Thoughts on the situation with this roster and the attrition, Jimmy?
You should have asked Hawkeye Pierce.
Yes.
You might know the answer to
that.
Right. This is really difficult. Look, this is the kind of game, in my opinion, where you really would miss, if he doesn't play, Darren Kirkland Jr. at linebacker, where you'd really miss Jalen Reeves-Maven and Cam Sutton, because Alabama is going to find those matchups against those players that are not quite as good as the ones we just mentioned. So that hurts Tennessee. I do think there's a pretty good chance Darren Kirkland plays. Those others, I'm not so sure. And by the way, Bob Shoup said that Colton Jumper could play both linebacker spots if necessary, so you may see Jumper and Kirkland Jr. on the field at the same time.
All right, very good. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Tennessee can beat Alabama. If they upset Alabama, why will they do it? What we'll be talking about on my Sunday morning show. We'll tell you next. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine.
Games and Things wants to put more fun in your life with beautiful home theater seating. No matter your budget or room size, Games and Things has you covered with a wide variety of styles and configurations, from simple comfort to the latest seating innovations. Watch the big game, a movie, or your favorite TV show in the lap of luxury. See the selection online at ourgameroom.com or visit Games and Things, Kingston Pike at Lovell Road, because life should be fun.
Games and Things, 'cause life should be fun, fun, fun.
When it comes to your home, no one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
For nearly 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, the full line of Yamaha outboard motors, and the area's biggest selection of boats. Boats like G3 John boats, built Gator Tough. G3 John boats include everything you need in a workhorse boat, plus an extremely smooth ride. Check out G3 John boats for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
At Phoenix Conversions, for 25 years, we've been the place to take your car, truck, or SUV for custom accessories and conversions. Whether it's that time of season, you want to personalize your ride for performance, or just stand out from the crowd, Phoenix Conversions carries the area's largest selection of custom accessories, built tough and fitting your everyday life. When it has to be the best, call Phoenix Conversions.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment brought to you by Phoenix Conversions. When it comes to your vehicle and it has to be the best, take it to Phoenix Conversions. You see their website right there where you can learn more, phoenixconversions.com. Okay, I want to quickly show you about last year's game. So there it is. Alabama beat Tennessee 19-14 last year. You see Hurd's numbers. I'll let you look at the numbers from last year's games. And then one of the things to stand out in terms of special teams, Medley missed 3 kicks in that game. Mm-hmm. Can't have that this year. Guys, if Tennessee beats Alabama, what will we be talking about Sunday morning on WATE 6 at 11 a.m.? How will they have done it?
Have to win the turnover margin. They cannot allow a ton of rushing yards. In the big plays.
List.
Yeah, it is a long list. But the explosive plays, they gave up way too many. I think Tennessee said 9 plays against A&M resulting in over 300 yards. You can't do that. Tennessee's got to make some explosive plays. And how about not having 5 more injuries during the game?
That would help.
Yeah.
What do they have to do? And Chris, you can go ahead and put that graphic back up if you get a chance to. Let people actually read that thing for a little bit while we talk here. How are they going to pull this off if they do?
If they beat out, we'll be talking about Josh Dobbs for the Heisman Trophy. Josh is going to have a great performance. Similar numbers that he had against A&M, 398 yards passing, minus the 4 turnovers. He had 2 fumbles and he had 2 interceptions. One was the result of Jason Kroom's terrible hands, pretty much threw it into the arms of a defender, put that on the tight end.
The second batted interception he's had this year.
Terrible. Josh needs to have the best performance of his career. And there's no reason to believe he can't go out there and do that. And the defense needs to play really well and not let Alabama get behind him. I agree with Jimmy. Got to have some turnovers, win the turnover battle. But if they win, we will be talking about Josh Dobbs as a Heisman Trophy.
If they win the game, how will they do it, Will?
Every true freshman has a freshman game. So Alabama's quarterback has a freshman game. From there, I do agree with Josh Dobbs, but I took it a little bit different way. Malone, Jennings, and Kamara. Because you beat Alabama on this kind of team by getting these big open plays and getting these athletic guys, and they miss plays like how Ole Miss has done to them in the past and giving them trouble. Fast guys in space, make one guy miss, and you can take it for a big play. They've got to be able to do that, and special teams can still be a special thing for you. Can you win there somehow, some way, taking advantage? That's how this team wins.
Such an advantage last year, and you think where this team would be if you could have had that this year, because you stubbed your toe so many times. You get 6 touchdowns out of your return game last year, and you really had a huge advantage in the punting game, everywhere else, that it just hasn't been as big this year. I agree with these guys in terms of turnovers, and let me show you why. I got some numbers here I want to put up. You have to go back to 2009, because they were undefeated in 2009, actually. 2010, their last 10 losses at Alabama. They don't lose a lot down there. Turnover margin in each of those losses you see there. Also, the quarterback's rushing attempts and yardage, all right? Not only have they lost the turnover margin, everybody's writing this down quickly to use on their own shows. I like that. Alabama, 9 turnovers on offense, or I'm sorry, they have recorded 9 that they've gotten on defense. They have turned it over 25 times, making them minus 16. So they're minus 2.5 over those 10 games. And then the quarterbacks, you don't have to rush for 150 yards against these guys. What you do have to do is counteract sack yardage you have lost. Look at every one of those guys is plus. When you go back through some of their other victories, you're looking at guys with minus 10, minus 8, minus 7, minus 17, minus 20 yards because they are drop back passers. Most of these guys on this list, mobile, like Josh Dobbs. Mike Griffith stole the number earlier. 16 carries last year, only 19 yards. Tennessee almost wins the game this last year. You have to be mobile at the quarterback position, and they have been. For me, they need Dobbs to have a nice day running. Doesn't have to be superstar. Nice day running, and you do have to win the turnover battle against an Alabama team that scores more on defense than they do on offense almost. So that's the setup for us. When we come back, why Tennessee will or won't cover the spread on Saturday. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine.
From East Tennessee to the Carolinas, no job is too big for BENEDICT Construction. Patios and decks, custom remodels, even custom homes. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of BENEDICT Construction.
For nearly 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, the full line of Yamaha outboard motors, and the area's biggest selection of boats. The most popular pontoons on the water. Sweetwater pontoons are built to last, and Sweetwater pontoons come in a variety of layouts and designs. Check out Sweetwater pontoons for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
At Phoenix Conversions, for 25 years, we've been the place to take your car, truck, or SUV for custom accessories and conversions. Whether it's that time of season, you want to personalize your ride for performance, or just stand out from the crowd, Phoenix Conversions carries the area's largest selection of custom accessories, built tough and fitting your everyday life. When it has to be the best, call Phoenix Conversions.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Every red dot on this map marks a car wreck case worked by the car wreck attorneys, Bill Hotson Associates. Like this one on North Peters Road.
Lee got hurt when she was broadsided by a speeding car. The insurance company offered nothing, so we went to court and got a verdict of $99,000. We've been fighting these battles for 30 years, and we're ready to fight for you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hotson Associates.
From kitchens and bathrooms to custom patios, decks, living rooms, and even shutters, let the remodeling team at BENEDICT Construction turn your home into your dream home.
And welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. That's East Tennessee's #1 source for security systems and for all your entertainment needs in terms of home audio, video systems, theater rooms. They do it all. Give VFL JJ Surlis a call. He works there. He can tell you all about Safety Systems. I want to remind you that coming up tomorrow at 4 o'clock over on Sports Radio WNML, it is the Pigskin Panel. Mr. Himes, Mr. Wilkerson, Mr. Overstreet will be there. The Sports Source, Sunday, Channel 6, 11 a.m., top-rated show in Knoxville in terms of sports. Thank you for giving us a record-high number last week. Can't believe your loyalty. Really appreciate it. And then I want to ask these guys very quickly why Tennessee will or won't cover the spread. Alabama opened as an 8-point favorite. I can't talk today. You see, it's jumped to 13, and it's sat at 13 all week. 13-point home underdog. Jimmy, why will Tennessee cover or why won't they cover?
I think Tennessee's going to cover, and I think the word that has probably been overused, but I'm going to use it again, is resiliency. I think even if this team gets down, they'll fight its way back. I think Dobbs will play well against them. You've talked about the mobility of quarterbacks that Alabama struggle with a little bit. So I think Dobbs is – he's not going to have a 398-yard passing game, okay, but I think he's going to be effective against Alabama. And even if Tennessee does fall behind by double digits, I think they're going to rally.
20 seconds. Why they will or why they won't cover?
I hope I'm wrong. I don't think they're going to cover, John. I just think there's too many injuries right now. This isn't your uncle's Alabama team. These guys average 44.8 points per game. I mean, they're the Oregon Ducks in terms of the speed and explosivity of this team. Tennessee can play them really close, only not to cover late in the game.
Will, 20 seconds.
I think they cover, but they cover just barely. I think they're the 10-point mark right now. So under the 13, not under the 8, but I think they'll cover.
Because of injuries?
Yeah, I just think too many injuries. You don't know if Derek Kirkland's going to be able to play or not. All those kind of positions, you don't know. A lot of uncertainty around several areas. Kiffin can hurt you with that.
Yeah, I think they'll cover. They shouldn't. On paper, the body's missing, the turnovers, the penalties, they shouldn't. But I'm buying in. I think they will cover. There's something special about this team, whether it's the resilience or whatever. They don't quit, and I think that's very admirable quality. We'll see you right back here next Thursday at 7 o'clock. See you Sunday at 11 on WATE 6.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.